Hey everybody, I'm Sky and this is Should My Kids Play? Untitled Goose Game. So, Untitled Goose Game is a game where you play as a goose that is just utterly terrorizing a village. You can play it on all the things. You've got a to-do list here, and once you get all the things crossed off, then you get to move on to the next location. So, I'm going to try to get into the garden. So, I'm trying to get the gardener to come and open the gate. So I'm going to pick up his radio and take it for a walk. There we go. Get into the garden. So with the to-do list, you might notice it's all written in cursive, but you can change that in the options if you want to be able to read it a bit clearer. Yeah, you just go around and see what can you pick up, what can you do. The puzzles are generally steal something or make the person do something. In terms of whether it's easy enough for kids to play, I mean, all kids playing at different levels, but there is no easy version of this. This just is the game. So anyone playing it is playing it at the same difficulty level. The thing is though, there's no losing. If you don't manage to do a puzzle, generally what it is that the person catches you, takes the thing that you've been stealing or whatever, and puts it back. So then you just try again. So it's not like something where if you don't manage to do it in the first go, you've got to start right back from the start. So let's see what else is on the list. Get the groundskeeper wet. Make the groundskeeper wear his sun hat. Steal the groundskeeper's keys and have a picnic. There we go, I got his keys. So I mentioned before that you can play it on a PC or consoles. I find the PC controls a bit harder. That's not to say don't play it on a PC. For a lot of games, the controller can actually be a bit more intuitive. For kids. That can mean that they can get to the part of the game where they actually start having fun a bit quicker. You just get used to what makes you go forward, what makes you pick stuff up. It's quite similar over a lot of games. There are games where if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard, the controls are quite different. For instance, this one, you don't use keys to walk around, you click with the mouse to walk around. So if you have a PC and you are thinking that maybe a controller is a good idea, it's easier than you think. All of these types of controllers from consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever, they work by Bluetooth. So if your computer has Bluetooth, you can actually just pick up a second-hand one of these or buy one new and connect it to your computer. If you're wanting a more just easy plug and play, this one here, it is called, it looks a lot like this one, but it's different. This is Xbox. This is called an 8-bit Do Ultimate. It is a controller that is made to work with PC. It just comes with a dongle itself. You just plug it in and it just works. I have put a link in the description so you can tell which is the one that I'm using. So there's two varieties of this. One that's set up like a Nintendo controller and one that is set up like an Xbox or PlayStation controller. I would recommend getting the one that is set up like an Xbox or PlayStation controller. More games are set up for that than the Nintendo one. And how to tell the difference is the A is on the bottom and the B is on the side, and the Nintendo one, it's swapped around. Either of them will work, and with anything you can actually change what the buttons mean, but if it's asking you to push A and you've flipped the buttons, the one that says A will be doing the function for the one that says B, and it all gets complicated. Now there is a multiplayer in this game as well. There's good and bad about it, I'm going to say. The good is that unlike a lot of other games, you don't need to buy a second copy of the game. If you have a thing with two controllers, you can just play it. Now, like anything, I would say that the success of a multiplayer game comes down to the level of cooperation and communication between the players. I've played it quite successfully with my youngest. It was more in a role of I was letting them do the things that they wanted to do. Then I could do some of the more tricky puzzles. But when both kids were playing together, there was a level of frustration. It's a puzzle game, so when you can't figure out the puzzle, it can get really frustrating. All the puzzles need a lot of cooperation. You need to be working towards the same goal. You can't be pulling in different directions. And then literally, because if one is on one side of the screen pulls on the other and you can't actually go where you want to go. So the multiplayer is there. You don't have to buy another copy of the game or anything like that. If you've got 2 controllers, you can play multiplayer. Like any puzzle game, also playing single player, if you can't get the puzzles, it can get frustrating. If anyone ever gets stuck with any of the puzzles, honestly, you just Google it. Someone will tell you how to do it. Which is not something that I could do when I was young. There was a game that I played and I got stuck on something and I never finished it. Not until I was an adult and the internet existed and I could figure out what I was supposed to try to do. So if I can make it to the lake, maybe I can make him follow me into the lake. Yes, got him wet. Awesome. Right, and so a new to-do list item has started. It is make the groundskeeper hammer his thumb. Some of this stuff feels a bit mean, but no, it's funny. It's funny, right? It's funny. Yeah. There we go. So I gave him a fright, he whacked his thumb, and now he's opened the gate. And he leaves the gate open, so once he gets out of the way, I can move on to the next level. So it is a relatively short game. You can get to the end of it in a few hours. Once you finish it, you can come back through and there are some new to-do items. Most of the puzzles, there's just lots of like, you got to get in places in time and stuff like that. So you do need a little bit of coordination, but it's quite forgiving. Like you can just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. I really like this game. It's got a good sense of humor. It's quite forgiving and there's quite a lot of problem solving and lateral thinking to try to figure out some of these puzzles. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to give away too many of the puzzles. But thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope that has given you a little glimpse into what Untitled Goose Game is like and whether it is something that your kids might want to play. Please let me know in the comments if there are any games that you would like me to look at in the context of how they would be for kids to play. Thank you everybody so much for watching and I'll see you next time.